Hello again, 7x3 or 7XL. I hope you're still doing well. So we move from tutor time to English time. We have a lesson today that changes from what we were doing last week. Last week we started with some Greek mythology, and that was a mistake on my part. We are going to do Greek mythology, but just a bit later in the term. We're supposed to be starting with some autobiography, and so we're going to get straight into that now. As a warning, it's a bit of a serious subject, dealing with a fairly horrible subject, but I'm sure you'll be fine with it. So let's turn to that now. You can see here the PowerPoint that you'll be following today, and you'll find it attached under the assignment in Teams, along with the worksheets, the reading extracts you'll need. Very straightforward work. You just need to click through the PowerPoint, doing what it asks you to do along the way, and then I'll let you know what I'm expecting you to upload for your work in Teams. But today we're going to begin, or with me, what we're going to do is have a look at this extract from Anne Frank's diary, possibly one of the most famous pieces of autobiography in Western literature. So make sure you're following along with the PowerPoint, doing what it's asking you to do. If you're able to print off the extract, that's wonderful, but it's not necessary. You can follow along online as well. And we are going to begin reading now, following from the prediction you can make from this date. What major world event is happening at this time? Okay, that might be influencing Anne's diary. Okay, to think, if you're writing a diary today, you might be writing about the coronavirus, lockdown, what's happening in America, the storming of the American Capitol by Trump's followers. You might even be writing about Brexit over here and what that's doing as well. There's a lot of major things happening in the world around you. What was happening around Anne at that time, do you think? So let's move to reading the extract now. These extracts are taken from the diary of Anne Frank, whilst Anne and her family were in hiding from the Nazis. Thursday, November 19th, 1942. Mr. Dussel has told us much about the outside world we've missed for so long. He had sad news. Countless friends and acquaintances have been taken off to a dreadful fate. Night after night, green and grey military vehicles cruise the streets. They knock on every door, asking whether any Jews live there. If so, the whole family is immediately taken away. If not, they proceed to the next house. It's impossible to escape their clutches unless you go into hiding. They often go around with lists, knocking only on those doors where they know there's a big haul to be made. They frequently offer a bounty, so much per head. It's like the slave hunts of the olden days. I don't mean to make light of this. It's much too tragic for that. In the evenings, when it's dark, I often see long lines of good, innocent people, accompanied by crying children, walking on and on, ordered about by a handful of men who bully and beat them until they nearly drop. No one is spared. The sick, the elderly, children, babies and pregnant women, all are marched to their death. Friday, May 26, 1944. I feel more miserable than I have in months. Even after the break-in, I didn't feel so utterly broken, inside and out. On the one hand, there's the news about Mr. Van Hoven, the Jewish question, which is discussed in detail by everyone in the house, the invasion, which is so long in coming, the awful food, the tension, the miserable atmosphere, my disappointment in Peter. On the other hand, there's Bep's engagement, the Pentecost reception, the flowers, Mr. Kugler's birthday, cakes and stories about cabarets, movies and concerts. That gap, that enormous gap, is always there. One day we're laughing at the comical side of life and hiding, and the next day, and there are many such days, we're frightened, and the fear, tension, and despair can be read on our faces. Okay. These diary entries are such a serious subject that it feels a bit strange doing this through a recording instead of being there with you in the classroom so that we can discuss them properly. And I'm truly sorry for that. The horrors of World War II, and especially of the specific atrocities that Anne Frank is writing about here, really deserve to be explored more when we're together. And I hope that someday we have a chance to. But the reality of remote learning means that it's now time for me to turn this back to you. So please continue looking through the PowerPoint and completing the tasks that it sets for you. If you have your English book with you and you still have some room in it, please do the written work that you can in there. Otherwise, do it online. In a Word document or something. You can see in the PowerPoint that you've got this work to do here, and you've also got this one here, and you've also got back here some questions to answer. That's what I would like to see you upload by the deadline. Otherwise, that's it for today. I hope you have a fine day of remote learning, that you're keeping healthy and safe, and I'll see you next week. Please take care.